After watching Fear Street 1994,
we asked ourselves, would a head really do that?
my name is Kat.
And I'm Dominic.
I'm an electrical engineer in my day job, and in the afternoons, I like to show people about engineering.
I'm a science communicator online, so I basically take the concepts that she's working on and dumb them down even more for people like me to understand. So we've got an industrial bread slicer.
And a bunch of stuff to slice. We have a fresh loaf of bakery bread.
We've got a watermelon.
And a ballistic gel head named Kate. Before we do that, let's review the footage.
Yeah, I'm not a horror movie fan. Gore is a little bit too much for me.
I like how she's still fighting him even though she literally just got stabbed.
Is it weird that I'm hungry looking at the cake? How's her hair? How's her hair not getting tangled?
Like her hair goes through all...
Doesn't that not look like fruitcake with everything inside? Why am I thinking of food this whole time?
This machine is supposed to slice bread. It is very, very likely that if you put in something much, much harder, then it'll either just overload or break the machine. I know that engineers are not going to design a machine for extreme conditions if these extreme conditions are not needed. Let's hear a little bit from the filmmakers about how they did this.
We had a lot of discussion in pre-production about that sequence because I remember like sitting and kind of arguing with my production designer Scott and my art director Sean because they were like, there's no way that a human head could go through a bread slicer and that would happen. And so ultimately what they did is they bought a bread slicer, we fed watermelons through it, and it worked. So then created a prosthetic head, and that was like varying degrees of success. We ran our actress through the bread slicer without the blades, and we knew that it was ultimately gonna all be visual effects.
We had some versions of like brain splatter, like brain collapsing, like with a lot of gore. We need to really recognize Kate. It's really important to maintain the visual integrity of the face, to really be still connected to a human being and not just see just like some gore, like some dog food coming out the other side.
Probably if you put a human head, like an actual human head through a bread slicer, it would be a disgusting goopy mess and it wouldn't really recognize, but it's way better to see Kate's face like sliced and awful and destroyed. So that was our thing for this.
This is the Oliver 777N bread slicer with 0.5 horsepower.
That's roughly 370 newtons of force, and it takes about 2,300 newtons to break a human skull.
But variables like speed, pressure, and the distribution of force factor in too.
So I definitely think the bread is gonna be no problem. I'm excited about the watermelon because I know it will make a mess. And I really want to see what happens with Kate.
I just don't feel like a soft object like that is gonna have as clean of a cut as like a watermelon, because watermelon has a hard shell, so as it's going in, it's gonna kind of stay together, and then as it cuts through, it's just a lot easier. I feel like that's probably gonna have the cleanest cut, and I think the bread's just gonna be the least interesting, and I think the head it's gonna just shatter and explode.
I think the head will either go in really messily or break this machine. Let's get into this. Fred first?
Let's do it.
I mean, overall, it did a pretty good job. For me, I followed your suggestion of doing it faster, and that just made it get caught more.
Yeah, for me, like I was going really slow. But the problem with going slow too is it was able to jump up, and that was kind of the problem, and I foresee that being a problem with probably the watermelon. The bread is like pretty soft, and I think that's why like the bread kind of jumped up a little bit. So I think the watermelon should do a good job of like staying put for the most part.
So we can actually see that this is a really clean cut.
This is like the cleanest cut I've ever seen. Like I kind of want to buy these just to cut my watermelons.
I feel like we should rebrand this as a watermelon cutting machine.
Yeah, yours got stuck. Mine was a really clean cut. But noticing just how yours was drastically different than mine worries me about the head. So I think for the next one, we're gonna have to put in some force with it, but we'll have to see how it goes.
This looks really good.
It does look good. Are you gonna eat it? This head has been precisely designed to replicate a human skull.
Not only is the skull precise, but the skin thickness also simulates the thickness around a human's head.
Oh my gosh, it's actually slicing it.
Oh, poor Kate. Oh, this is bad.
So we can see that the skin is completely gone on the top, and we can see the cuts from the blades. And if you touch it, you can definitely feel that it was starting to cut through. Yeah, this would have hurt. It didn't make clean slices like in the movie, but it definitely did something to Kate.
This might not work, and I think the movie showcased that it could, but I mean, if someone's struggling too while you're pushing them through this, I mean...
It would take a very long time.
It would take a long time.
Wouldn't be...
It would kill someone. That's a fact.
Eventually.
Another Shady Side tragedy.